Oh man, oh boy. What's up, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to more CSGO news. For those of you guys who do not know, I'm actually leaving town to Mexico tomorrow. I'm trying to pre-record a lot of videos out there. There's been way too much CSGO news to try and cover it all. I will try and pre-record one more episode for you guys tomorrow, covering all the stories that did drop. The biggest one, though, I want to make it a solo video for, that being Navi. For all you fans out there, it is not looking good based off some evidence that's now been shown all over the Reddit. If you guys have not seen this, Brian, if you're watching, you may want to close your ears and your eyes, because apparently Navi is still in a bit of turmoil. As we've known for probably quite some time, the temperament of this team has always been in question, and with this now being apparently some messages of a Starletter referee, it's now been deleted, but ever since has been translated. For all of you guys who are wondering what it does pretty much state and summarize into, it's the fact that apparently S1mple, as you guys are well aware as well, has actually announced as the captain. He was the role leader. I think it was actually announced by HLTV. When he was made the captain, his role was apparently to have the entire atmosphere, the discipline of the group under his reign, which people were in question. It was a bit odd because given his past, he's been known to rage, but obviously on this lineup, he's the experience, he's the best player in the world. He deserves to have the captain role and look after his teammates. So the announcement did make sense, but people were still worried about it. This translated message apparently still states that S1mple is still raging at his teammates, especially at Starseries. If you guys have not seen a series of upsets for many teams out there, one of the first teams gone was actually Navi. I believe Heroic and G2 took them out of this tournament. So apparently it goes on to state even further, though, it's not just S1mple having issues on this lineup. Apparently it's also Guardian being so tilted he can't even frag any longer. And I think even most importantly, according to the second message, people aren't really talking about this. Electronic, accordingly, during a technical pause, actually turned to Boomich and asked him, when are you going to start becoming a captain? When do you start becoming a leader and not just a player? And that's very crucial because thanks to Aiden in my Discord, all of you guys who bring me stories, without you, these videos aren't very possible. He sent me this picture last month. And by the way, if you can't tell, that's Electronic sitting in the middle of this lineup. Typically, the middle of this lineup is usually used for the IGL spot. So it begs the question, is Boomich even actually IGLing for the team? Or is it Electronic trying to give it a go? Because then that second message, which apparently does say Electronic during a technical pause, is looking at Boomich and saying, when can you be a captain? When can you lead us and not just be a player? So that now does make sense, as Electronic might be giving the IGL role a little try himself. But if it's not Boombl or Boomich, again, sorry for mispronouncing that, guys. I've called him for Boombl for so long. It does beg the question, is he worth it just as a player? And we look at this roster overall, like I said previously, this temperament is something they really have struggled getting past. We still have S1mple raging, by the way. He is still a certified rager, and that just shows how much passion he has. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but even at Starseries, his temperament was obviously an issue.
13 seconds left and they get absolutely mowed down.
So you have a captain, you have an actual leader of this roster who's in charge of discipline, who is raging, who is very, very furious about this. And again, I'm not trying to blame the guy. You have Guardian, by the way, who was on the whim of retirement. He now joins this roster saying he has been refreshed and he has a year or two or at least a couple majors left in him. He's apparently tilting so much he can't even frag. You have an IGL who's not really IGLing, that being Boombl. You have a non-IGL who's giving it a try, that being Electronic, who's still questioning the supposed IGL Boombl if he can actually step up and take the reins from him. This team right now, even with a new coach of Blade replacing that of the former Kane, who people thought was there because of Zeus, you thought that Blade would be a great improvement for the roster. And speaking of Zeus, the guy is a legend. He obviously brought a lot to this roster, but Boombl was supposed to be the guy who could IGL and also frag on top of that. This roster, what they're supposed to be doing on paper is not working out, and their temperament and apparently their attitudes have been a huge cause of that. Now, there obviously is going to be deeper issues than that, but it is very obvious the tilt, the rage, the anger on this lineup, and the roles they are not fulfilling is becoming a big issue, and this is not spelling a good future for a Navi, who, by the way, they've been a top team for quite some time now, for a very, very long time now, but when it comes to tournaments and actually cracking the top 5 and actually making it past quarters, they have not really done that successfully. They have, I think, fairly stated, not lived up to expectations for quite some time now, given the power they have, and if that power can actually ever be fulfilled is a giant question going forward. We have no idea if it's either Boombl or actually Electronic IGLing. Either way, this issue of this team goes far past just that in-game skill. It goes into the actual attitude of the roster, which we are now seeing. Attitude means a lot when it comes to players out there who have a hard time keeping their temperament in line. Until next time, I hope you guys all enjoy. It seems that Navi struggles are continuing in CSGO for now. As always, my name is Jake, breaking down esports and gaming news. If there's a story you guys want me to cover, leave a comment down below. I will cover it as soon as possible. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Stay cool, calm, collected. Bye.